going to give it just a couple more minutes if everybody doesn't mind, just to give a few more minutes for some other board members to join us. Daphne, did you hear from any specific members that said they wouldn't be able to join us this morning?
I did not. Only Miss Fillingham said that she may be joining late.
Late, okay.
But I only heard from 5 that confirmed to be here. Mr. Oliver was one of them. I don't see him on at this time. And Mr. Kitchens, I don't see them either.
Okay. We'll give them a few minutes then.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we were anticipating it being a pretty quick meeting today, but it may be very quick.
Maybe very, very quick, Scott. We almost just may just sing some Christmas carols and adjourn.
Kick it off, Steve. We'll sing along with you.
David, that is not something you want under your tree, buddy. When I do that, my daughter says it hurts her ears.
That's what my border collie says when I do it. She starts howling. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I think my dog tries to run away. I don't know what that means.
I saw Miss Reynolds Cobbs just joined. I think we have enough members now.
Got 4 by my count. Is that your count too, Daphne?
Herring.
Myself, Commissioner Tanner, Mr. Herring, Reynolds, and myself. That will be 4.
Meg Heap is on.
Meg, I missed her. I apologize. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Yeah, so that would make 5.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll go ahead and proceed so we can conduct our business and avoid the Christmas carols and go ahead and get started. Anybody that joins in, we can make note of them. So I'll go ahead and ask Daphne if you'd go ahead and call our roll so we get an official count.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the 4th quarter DCS board meeting. Happy holidays to everyone and wishing you all a blessed and prosperous new year. Roll call begins. Candace Gross, Heath Elliott, Sonia Fillingham, Meg Heap,
Here.
David Herring,
Present.
Jimmy Kitchens, Nick Norton, Tyrone Oliver, Chairman Queen,
I'm here.
Shawanda Reynolds Cobbs.
Good morning, present.
Thank you. Kevin Tanner,
I'm here this morning. Thank you.
All right. And we have Deborah Gore from the AG's office sitting in today.
Good morning, everybody.
Commissioner, we have enough members for a quorum.
Great. Thank you, Daphne. I appreciate that. And Ms. Boer, welcome. I appreciate your attendance as well. And we'll go ahead and move to our next agenda item, which is our invocation. And General Counsel Knox, I did believe I saw James log in.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Good morning, James. Would you mind delivering our invocation?
Good morning. Let us pray. God, we're so thankful for this day. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for this season and the gift that is Christ. We ask now all we do, all we say, God, you be glorified, that your people here in the state of Georgia, God, be made better. And we ask you to conduct our business on today with us and guide us in all we do. Thank you. Amen.
He's the General Counsel for the Department of Community Supervision. I'll just send out invocation. So, thank you.
Ms. Gore, I didn't quite catch that. Okay, welcome everyone. I appreciate everyone's attendance, especially during this busy time of the year. Hope you and your families are preparing for Christmas and have a wonderful holiday season. We'll go ahead and move on to our next agenda item, which is the approval of our proposed agenda. Everyone should have received that via email. Does anyone have any questions about it? Or if not, I'll be glad to accept a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda presented for today, December the 19th, 2024 is approved. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the review and approval of our minutes from our last meeting on September the 18th, 2024. I believe that's the 18th. You should have received that as well, and I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll accept those minutes as presented and approved. Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our reports, beginning with Commissioner Nell and Chief of Staff Maurer. I don't believe I saw Michael on, Scott, but I did see you, and welcome.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. I will be presenting today. Michael certainly sends on his regards. He's actually having some medical tests done today, so he wasn't able to attend. But he certainly wishes you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and prosperous New Year. Just a few things today. I do anticipate that this meeting should be relatively quick. So on our end, of course, budget or session is starting shortly. Always a busy time for us and all the agencies involved. We have started monitoring our legislation for any impacts on directly on our agency and our operations. Our agency did not put forth any agency legislation this year, so far we're just in a monitoring state. From a budget standpoint, as you know, the governor's budget instructions were for agencies to submit a flat budget, which we of course followed that. It did allow, though, for some workload adjustments and capital requests. And so we do have a couple things that I want to make the board aware of that is in our budget submission this year. As far as requests, we have requested funding to cover a lease at our new Milledgeville office, our new Milledgeville lease. So we previously were located in the Arnold building in Milledgeville. That property was owned by Department of Corrections. It is slated to be demolished, so we had to find somewhere else to locate our office in Milledgeville. And so this request just covers the cost of the lease to this point and for going forward. As far as capital requests go, we requested funds to replace 75 vehicles. These are vehicles that have met the criteria for replacement. And we also have a bond fund request to construct a new day reporting center in Columbus, Georgia. The current location is actually way too small for a day reporting center. It is also too small by state regulations as far as the size per square or the per square foot per employee. And we have a number of parking issues there. And it was one of two things. One, either we build a new location, and so that's our request in the budget, or we're going to have to reduce the capacity of that day reporting center from 100 participants down to 50 because it's just the building's just not big enough. So those are our two budget request items. And then last, from a budget standpoint, we've been fortunate this past quarter to have the lowest turnover rate we've had in probably the last 7 years. It's at about 3.42%. So that's the good news. All of our vacancies are currently filled, but of course this has some significant impact on our budget. And so we have gone through the budget and started scrutinizing our spend to make some adjustments to make sure that we stay within our budget allotment. But of course, that's certainly a good problem to have. So we have a lot of staff and employees in vacant or what previous were vacant positions, and we're enjoying, at least for right now, a very low turnover rate. Back in October, we held our annual DCS award ceremony. I want to give a special thanks to Sherry Chambers as well as the award ceremony committee for their outstanding work on this event. As always, the ceremony is an opportunity for us to recognize our exceptional employees as well as partners. And as in previous years, it was a great event. Last month, in November, we held our first annual DCS Leadership Conference. And it truly was a great event. We had a lot of positive feedback. We invited to attend all of the managers in DCS. So very, very well attended event, a lot of very positive feedback. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Tanner, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Herring, Ms. Reynolds-Cobb, and Ms. Fillingang for your participation in that event. We received a lot of very positive feedback from the sessions you guys were a part of. So certainly appreciate you being willing to be involved and sharing your leadership expertise with our management staff. So this is an event we plan to hope to have annually. So certainly be looking out in the new year for information on what our plans are for the next one. Speaking of Mr. Oliver, I know he's not on here, but we certainly want to give him our congratulations. I understand he was nominated as president-elect for ACA next year. And so I don't know if that's a congratulations or I'm sorry, but we certainly look forward to his continued great work and all that he does for that association. And then the last thing that I have today is, if you have not recently been able to join our or look at the DCS website, I'm going to ask Daphne to send you all a link if she hasn't already. But we recently launched our data hub. And so within our website now, our research and innovation data hub is located on the website, and it is a great place. There is a lot of very consumable, easy to read, friendly format data and information about DCS. And it's in a format that is something that can be transported, you can actually go in and download a lot of the data that's in there and put it into a report. And so we're trying to be as transparent as possible with our data. And I want to thank everybody that was involved in launching the Research and Innovation Hub. And if you haven't had a chance to look at it sometime when you have some free time, I would certainly encourage you to do so. That concludes my remarks for today. Michael and I would like to wish all of you a joyous and happy holidays and happy new year. And of course, always thank you for your continued support. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that report. Does anybody have any questions for Scott? Okay, great. We'll move on to the next committee reports, beginning with our operations update. Bert, saw you earlier. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I hope everybody is doing well. I've just got a few updates today to share regarding staff accomplishments, operations, and a few on special operations. So jumping right in, I'll begin with a very special staff recognition of someone we're very proud of. Cedric Montgomery, who is one of our task force officers, recently demonstrated exceptional courage and professionalism by earning a 2024 Governor's Public Safety Award for heroism. I know many of you were at the ceremony on December 3rd, where he was presented with this award by Governor Kemp. And if you're not familiar with his story, he selflessly risked his own safety to rescue 3 children from a burning vehicle while suffering burns and minor cuts in the process. And all 3 children have since recovered due to his actions on that day. His actions not only save lives, but also serve as a reminder of the critical role we play in the communities we serve. And it underscores that deep sense of duty that our officers have to protect and serve, even in those life-threatening situations. So I want to say congratulations to him. And if you have an opportunity to say congratulations, I would encourage you to do so. So on the operations front, we've got a new risk assessment tool. And I know you're familiar with our resources and how big our service population is. So we must rely on a validated risk assessment to inform the intensity of the services. And it's a critical step in implementing person-centered supervision. In November, we launched IDRAX, and I want to clear up any confusion. That may sound like a missile defense system, but it's actually our new risk assessment tool, and that stands for Integrated Dynamic Risk Assessment for Community Supervision. And it's a tool that calculates and supervises these risks to reoffend by examining both static and dynamic risk factors. So 3 key differences between this new model and our old one is it incorporates a time under supervision without an arrest or revocation into the algorithm to better assess risk. So basically, they're relative to their time on supervision. Someone who's just started supervision may have higher scores than someone who's been under for a certain period of time without any violations. Another key difference is it includes both risk and protective factors for more of a holistic view of risk. So factors like employment, negative drug screens, and then earning their way onto contact status is actually factored into and can lower their risk score. And it applies a decay effect for past criminal history to ensure fairness. So essentially, an event that happened 30 years ago carries less weight than an event that happened 30 days ago. So that time under supervision and that history of events plays a big part in their risk score. So we launched that last month, and so far it's performing as expected. It's supporting our person-centered supervision, evidence-based practices, and all of our supervision strategies. And we're going to continue to monitor its effectiveness, and we'll provide any additional training as needed. Another one within operations is our automated fidelity assessment. Earlier this year, we changed the name of our unit from audits to assessments, fidelity assessment, because that's more captures the spirit of what we're trying to accomplish. So to enhance this process, in January of 2025, we're going to launch a new automated assessment tool in the portal. And this tool is going to streamline our annual assessment so that our fidelity analysts can perform to ensure better compliance with the procedures by several different things. So it's going to follow the strategy we've adopted on many of our initiatives, where we try to automate the mundane to allow personnel to focus on quality instead of busy work. So basically, this is going to take a lot of the busy work out of the work of our fidelity analysts by generating sort of a base template to start with, and then they can go in and actually spend more time focusing on quality, on things like reviewing body camera footage and whatnot. So another cool thing about this is it's actually going to give local chiefs the ability to generate an unofficial assessment. So they can go in and sort of get a temperature check before the official assessment happens, and they can kind of make some corrective actions before the official assessment. So we're really excited about that. Another thing it's going to be able to do is give us more comprehensive data across the state, so circuits can compare each other and kind of link data over time, which we weren't able to do in the past. Or if we were able to do that, it was done manually. This system will do it automatically. So essentially, it's going to increase efficiency and improve the quality of the assessments, ensuring that we can maintain the highest standards in supervision practices. Another within operations is our virtual agents. I know I mentioned that maybe at the last meeting, where we got everybody hired, we got everybody trained, and just a reminder of what they're actually going to be doing. So they make video interactions on supervisees at understaffed circuits or circuits with higher than average caseloads to sort of supplement that vacancy or that deficiency. So our current policy allows video interactions to supplement in-person interactions in some cases. So these are non-sworn individuals, and they're able to actually do these video interactions to kind of free up time for understaffed officers. So we implemented this in July 1st. And since then, they are averaging 500 successful video interactions per month. So that's kind of a game changer for us in those understaffed circuits or those high caseload circuits. So we're really excited about that. On the statewide special operations front, we had our annual Halloween operation. And on Halloween night, CSOs and our sex offender unit conducted compliance checks on high-risk sex offenders to ensure compliance with conditions of supervision. Over 600 CSOs participated in that, and they made over 3,600 in-person interactions that night, and including 1,500 video interactions. So more than 600 cases were also monitored by tracking their movements through electronic monitoring. And as a result of violations found, there were 36 arrests and 68 other sanctions imposed. So another successful year on that front. We also had in November 19th, we had a statewide gang operation where we organized and conducted a multi-agency warrant service and search operation targeting validated gang members who continue to violate the terms of their supervision. We had numerous state, local, and federal agencies involved in that. We did 316 searches. We seized 42 firearms, and we made 85 arrests for various charges. So, Mr. Chairman, barring any questions, that concludes my report. I want to thank the board for your time, attention, and continued support of our mission. I'll be happy to answer any questions or provide any additional details.
Thank you, Bert. Appreciate that. Those are some great updates. A lot of interesting things going on as usual. Does anyone have any questions for Bert? Okay, we'll move on to our next report, administration update. And Michelle, welcome and good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Board Chair, members of the board. This morning, I have the pleasure just to provide a few highlights. It is with great pride that I share with you the collective efforts of our team in making a meaningful difference in the lives of others through community service and charitable contributions. As a part of our ongoing commitment to foster the spirit of giving, we have been honored to support several important causes this year. During the state charitable contribution campaign, we were able to raise a total of $7,355 for Georgia charities benefiting the American Cancer Society, Samaritan's Purse to support breast cancer awareness, the Hurricane Helene relief efforts, as well as several other local charities across the great state. We were also honored to participate again this year with the DFAC Secret Santa program. We came together to bring joy and support to 25 youth in foster care during this holiday season. We were able to donate over $8,000 in gifts that certainly will be a welcome surprise to those individuals on Christmas morning. Additionally, our support of the Special Olympics has been a testament to our dedication to empowering individuals by contributing time, resources, and donating a total of $7,835 for Special Olympic athletes to compete in upcoming games. We always enjoy the opportunity we have to participate with Special Olympics, and we look forward to doing that in the upcoming games, the beginning of the year. We currently have a number of ongoing projects that I would like to just share a few updates with you that we're excited about and looking forward to how they will continue to support our mission. In the spirit of assessment tools, I know Bert just shared with you a couple of updates on iTrax and the fidelity of model assessment, but we also are working with our research partners at Georgia State University to develop a prototype of a new evidence-based program progress assessment tool that's going to be titled PPAT. The PAT is a machine learning algorithm that calculates the concern level, which represents a person's likelihood of failing in the Day Reporting Center program. Currently, we're going through GTA steps to get that approved in terms of being able to use the artificial intelligence technology. And once we have it approved, we will be working to obtain federal funding to launch a larger scale study formally. And the project has three aims. One, we look to develop and validate a dynamic version of the assessment tool. Two, to integrate the assessment into our case management portal and routine practices. And three, lastly, to be able to conduct a randomized trial to assess the tool effectiveness in the service delivery. We've also continued our work with Veteran Affairs to analyze the community supervision experience with our veterans that we provide services to. We've had an opportunity to cross-reference that self-reporting data from our veterans with the VA system and discovered that roughly about 75% difference in the number of people potentially eligible for VA services that we were aware of. So in order for us to make sure we're able to serve our population at its capacity, we will be working with IT to hopefully create a handshake between the two systems, between our system and the VA system, so we can better identify those individuals for services. And in turn, that will allow us to improve our resource linkage in that area for our veterans. Additionally, we would like to be able to use that data from this data set to compare it with our supervision data in hopes to be able to study that experience of those individuals, which will ultimately allow us to take those findings and inform strategies that will allow us to better serve that population while under supervision. Lastly, we had our Swift, Certain, and Fair Sanctions pilot project that we worked in partnership with the Council of Accountability Courts, as well as Georgia State University and CJCC. The goal of this pilot was for us to be able to reduce the number of probationers revoked to prison by utilizing already existing and established adult drug, mental health, and veterans treatment courts to treat those probationers. The final report was completed by Georgia State and has been presented to key stakeholders for each partner and agency, and we look forward to directors Dr. Maria Stevenson and Dr. Nick Powell with presenting those findings to us in the coming month, and we will keep you updated on the movement of this project and how we fold it into our operations. We appreciate not only the work that I've highlighted as well as Bert, but the work of each staff that makes up the great team of DCS, as well as the support that each of you give us as the board. Mr. Board Chair, members of the board, that concludes my report. If there are no questions for me, I certainly want to wish each of you and your families a very happy Christmas holiday season and a very prosperous new year.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. And appreciate that really good report there. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? Okay, we'll move on to the misdemeanor probation update and Mr. Tim Lewis. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. I want to join my colleagues in wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful and safe and fun-filled New Year's that's upcoming. Currently, there are 63 entities registered, 49 governmental agencies, 14 private companies, and 829 individuals are registered. As you can imagine, there's a steady flow of individuals leaving the industry whose registrations are then made inactive, and the registration of new hires being processed. Daphne handles the registration procedures of these individuals as well as the new agencies as they occur. So we want to thank her for maintaining our records, and we want to acknowledge the attention to detail that takes to accomplish that task. So thank you, Daphne, for your hard work this year. In 2024, our team of compliance monitors surpassed previous years by conducting reviews on 63 different entities and performing 4,500 individual case reviews. I'd like to acknowledge each of our team members, Alicia Smalley, Theodoria Dorsey, Jim and Jordan Holloway, Larry Richardson, and Stephen Phillips for their diligence and professionalism in performing this very important responsibility. This year, our MPOU training program reached new heights under the direction of Reginald Hewley and Kimberly Wood. You may recall from our first report in 2024 that we added Reginald to our team in an effort to increase training opportunities and to broaden the content of our program. I'm happy to report that our intent was accomplished. In 2024, 333 sessions were conducted, which doubled the number from past years. There were 519 different participants with a total attendance of 4,866. In addition to the increased number of sessions, Reggie added new lessons. He expanded the scope of our content and streamlined our tracking of student attendance and the generation of certificates. So we certainly want to acknowledge the continued development of our training program that was achieved this year. In addition to our virtual and in-person training sessions, we held 2 directors meeting and training events at Dipstick. The most recent was on November the 13th. I want to thank Director of Training and Professional Development, Lori Massengale, and Demetrius Lattimore for their assistance in making these arrangements for us and enabling us to have very successful meetings with the directors from across the state. I'm very proud of our team and their commitment to the task of serving the misdemeanor service providers effectively, and as a result, bringing positive outcomes to our communities the courts and those individuals that are under their supervision. Mr. Chairman, this concludes our report. I'm happy to respond to any questions you or the board may have.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate your team and all that y'all have done this year and continue to do. Anyone have any questions for Tim? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Appreciate everybody's reports there. All good information as usual. Next agenda item is old business. I don't have any old business reported. Is anyone aware of any old business we'll need to handle? Nope. And as well, is there any new business? I don't believe there is any new business on our agenda for today. Nope. Okay. And that leads us to our adjournment. Everybody, I appreciate your attendance at all the meetings this year and your participation in the board's work, and hope everyone has a great Christmas, happy holiday, and a very happy new year. And we'll see you in the new year.
Same to you. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Holidays. Thank you.